Good afternoon, I'm Holly Busby. Here are your headlines at 3:30. The number of grooming incidents is on the rise in Hampshire. We speak exclusively to a victim who wants to warn others of the dangers. The general election campaigns are underway in the south, but do you know how to vote? And protecting our prickly friends. A new charity is launched to help the Hedgehogs in Thornhill. Child grooming is on the rise across Hampshire. New figures released by the NSPCC show the number of recorded incidents has gone up by a fifth in the last year. Our reporter, Grace Williams, gives us a further insight into the issue. Grace?
NSPCC submitted a Freedom of Information request to 43 police forces nationwide. Hampshire Police recorded 181 offences of sexual communication with the children compared to 152 of the previous year. That's a rise of 19%. Instagram and Facebook were the top two recorded platforms where the grooming took place. I spoke to a victim who was targeted on social media.
I came across some guy's profile and in my eyes he looked really good looking, and I added him on Facebook and then he started chatting to me and we decided to meet up. I didn't really tell my friends about it, and then a man turned up to the school gates and I didn't know who it was and I didn't really know what to do. Once the police were called, they had to come to my house and take my statement. I've had to wait a long time for them to actually find the man who did it, and I've never found out actually to this day who it was, and I'm kind of like sharing my story from my own mistake.
Well, she was 11 when she was groomed, but 10 is now the average age to have a smartphone, which gives access to social media, according to the charity Internet Matters. Alarmingly, Ofcom have recorded that 1% of children under 5 also have a smartphone. Safeguarding police officer Stephen Horspool told me, social media platforms tend to be behind the game. There are billions of users and the platform will only be made aware when someone makes a complaint. He believes the platform's making so much money that they should be investing massively into keeping everyone safe. Holly.
Thanks, Grace. The NSPCC is calling for specialised services around the country to offer support to those that have been targeted. Victims can seek help from local NHS services, the police or children's charity itself. People around Southampton have been buying their poppies to remember the servicemen and women who have lost their lives in battle. The merchandise offers a variation on the emblem to cater for everyone's individual tastes. They've also introduced card payments to make it easy for everyone to buy a poppy this year.
The poppy actually goes right back to 1918 in Canada. There was a young lady wearing a poppy design brooch for her husband, who was an officer, lost in France, and it represents Flanders fields. We've got all sorts of merchandise, as you can see here, wristbands, we've got the traditional poppy, knitted poppies, they're knitted by local folk. The Indian Khadi poppy, this is a different kind of material. That's in recognition of the Indian forces that contributed during both World Wars. And we've got reflective clip poppies for bags, coats. This year's poppy, the 2019 pin poppy, 75 years of D-Day, and then various other designs. We've even got one for the rugby.
Will you be commuting by train over the Christmas period? You may end up running into some issues if you do, as the Rail, Maritime and Transport Union have announced strikes will be taking place following a dispute with South Western Railway over train guards. The strikes will take place between the 2nd and 27th of December. The only 2 days the strike isn't taking place is December the 1st and the day of the election. But do you know how to vote? Well, if you want to have your say, you need to make sure you register to vote. Joining me in the studio is our reporter, Keely Ann Dunn. Keely, how should students register to vote?
So, you're not automatically registered to vote. You can check if you're registered through the local electoral registration office. Not everyone, not just students, needs to go onto gov.uk/register to vote. This is a really simple process. You need to fill out the name, your address, your national insurance number and your email. Once you've done this, you'll get to a point where if you're a student, you have to answer this question. It says, do you live at any other address? You have to press, I'm a student and I live at a home and a term time address.
So what's the best way for students to vote?
So the best way for students to vote is either through their local poll, whether that's at home or in their university town, or they can do a postal vote, which they will apply for through their registration process, or they can do a proxy vote where someone else does the vote for them, but they do have to apply for that separately.
Thanks, Keely. A Southampton restaurant has been shortlisted for a top award. The Turkish diner Ottoman Kitchen was visited by 2 secret judges who then nominated it for the Best Middle Eastern Restaurant in the UK award. It will now go up against 5 other kitchens in 10 days' time.
It will eventually benefit our restaurant, but I think it will benefit Southampton itself a lot as well, because being shortlisted for top 5 restaurants in whole of England for Southampton, it will be good. So Middle Eastern restaurant, as you know, there is like thousands of them maybe in England. So one of them is in Southampton. We are glad for that and for ourselves as well. In a long while, it may affect us as well, so hopefully it will do.
With the lead up to Christmas underway, what are you doing to get into the festive spirit and have a merry little Christmas? Southampton's Christmas market will be opening to the public on November 17th, offering an array of different stalls from tasty treats to festive gifts. The market offers something for everyone, with the ice skating rink kickstarting the season, followed by the Christmas light switch on, which coincides with the stall's opening. A heritage experience, Stories Behind the Stones, will take place at the newly refurbished God's House Tower in November. It will tell the story of the medieval platform quay gatehouse at the town quay. The gruesome experience details Southampton's last hanging and the lives of 18th century prisoners. An organisation in Southampton called Hamble Hedgehogs has gained its charity status. The institution that takes care of injured and unwell hedgehogs was set up in 2016 by Nin Gilroy. Mrs. Gilroy has decided to open the charity after she had hedgehogs in her garden. Laura Stockdale reports.
This is Pippa. She came into Hamble Hedgehogs with a few fly eggs and unfortunately only one eye. And this is Nin Gilroy, who is taking care of Pippa until she is healthy enough to be returned into the wild. However, Pippa isn't the only resident. This back garden and custom-made hogstable, along with Miss Gilroy's spare bedroom, is currently housing more than 20 hedgehogs. Hamble Hedgehogs is a charity that looks after these small creatures after they have become unwell or injured. It started off as a small hobby, but quickly grew into something much bigger.
I was asleep in my living room one summer's evening, and all my cats were in the living room, the children in bed, and I heard somebody eating the cat food. So I tiptoed out to the kitchen to think, oh, it's a cat, and there was a big hedgehog looking at me going, what are you going to do about it? So we called him Bob. We didn't know if it was male or female, so we started putting food out for him. And it kind of escalated from there because Bob went and told all his friends. So we started building hedgehog houses, and then people started bringing me sick hedgehogs and overwintering hedgehogs, and it snowballed.
Keeping the hedgehogs in clear plastic boxes was only meant to be temporary, but due to lack of funds and minimal extra time, Ms. Gilroy has done her utmost to keep all the hedgehogs as cosy as possible. You can find Hamble Hedgehogs on Facebook and Twitter, where you'll be able to see more of Pippa's prickly friends. This is Laura Stockdale for Solent Journalism.
That's all from us for today. You can find all our stories and more online, including an exclusive story investigating how unoccupied property belonging to the homeless is being removed from the city's streets. For a full report, head to solentjournalism.co.uk. Have a great evening, and remember to buy a poppy for Sunday.